Okay, so you've finished the Ms. Frizzle series. Yes, I have. I've even combined all 4 parts into a 47-minute documentary. But don't you feel like you're missing something? Well, even if I am, I've officially finished the series. So there's no turning back now. Oh, okay. So, are we going to sleep now? No. I was thinking about the fact that you never did a full breakdown of why Ms. Frizzle wants to kill the children. You just kind of did a vague explanation. Well, I feel like that doesn't really need to be put together. It's almost impossible to find a real reason why. So what would even be the point in trying? Well, even with that, I'll continue to bug you about it until you make the video. Well, because of you, I've barely slept at all tonight. I don't care. I'll continue to bug you anyway. Or, crap. I guess I'm gonna have to make another video. You better, or else. So, I promise that this will be the final Ms. Frizzle video. I never intended on stretching this series very far. It was just kind of one video I did out of boredom. But that's when I realized that I had opened an entire wormhole of a theory that I needed to dig further into. And while it may look like I've kind of milked this series dry, there's just one thing in the theory that I feel like is out of place, and I might need to get a closer look at it. I'll try my best not to let this one little thing get me sucked down several different rabbit holes, but knowing me, that's something I can't guarantee. But if for some reason this isn't the last Ms. Frizzle video, my excuse will be that this is a season 2, and then I'll make another compilation. But hopefully this will only go on for one video. So what exactly is the flaw in our theory that I think we need to fix? Well, I've kind of said that she's trying to murder the children for one reason or another, but I never really specified what those reasons were. Probably because I didn't need to spend 3 more days editing a 30-minute video. The reason for this is because whenever I started thinking about it, I realized that this wouldn't be as simple as just theorizing and brainstorming. I don't really know how deep the mystery goes, but I think Ms. Frizzle's reasons for manipulating the world into favoring her killing 8 to 9 specific children are much more complex than I'm willing to go into. I'd have to look really deeply, and I wouldn't be able to do it just by myself. So where does that put me? Does that mean I should just leave the theory the way it is and not waste my time hyperfixating on useless details that'll probably get me nowhere? Ha ha. No. I'm totally gonna do that. So if for some reason you're watching this with no idea on what the hell I'm talking about, I'm too lazy explain it again. So I might just put a little thing in the corner that you can click on to watch the 4 other video of me explaining why a teacher from a children's show and book series is a murderer for 15 minutes. So on the topic of books, if you somehow don't know, the Magic School Bus is based off of a series of children's books. You may have read these in 2nd grade or something. Now I remember these things being absolutely horrible, and I doubt that the mind-numbing simplicity of these quote-unquote books would be any help in trying to piece together a murder mystery. But if for some reason I can't find anything in the show that even remotely connects to Ms. Frizzle's reasoning for killing her students, then I might be desperate and I might just resort to reading those pieces of crap by ordering them from the library or something. I'm sure none of those things would be placed on hold anyway. So as we begin to put our detective caps on, I'm left with just one problem. Where the hell do I start? I mean, I could make a community asking for theories, because I know you guys are extremely helpful and insightful. But there's so much to break down that I don't even know what to even try to start at. So let's just work it out here. There are 8 main children here: Arnold, Phoebe, Carlos, Dorothy Ann, Wanda Lee, Keisha, Ralphie, and Tim. I kind of looked a little into the fact that she seems to be targeting Arnold the most, which after making some dumb theories, really got me nowhere. I was thinking that he could be the main victim in this case, but I'd need some solid evidence for that. So instead of going from most fixated on to least fixated on, I think I'll start at least fixated on, and we can gradually work our way up, and piece it all together along the way. First, we need to figure out who generally has the least amount of screen time. This'll be hard, because each of them have certain episodes where they are more of the main focus than others, but I can make some assumptions and improvise on things. There are those certain soulless, annoying, or rambunctious characters that I hate with a fiery passion, that may not have as much of a reason for killing. Unless you put me, Wanda Lee, and Phoebe in the same room, then that might get a bit ugly. But in all seriousness though, I personally find Phoebe to be the most heartless and annoying of all of them. So do I want to focus on Phoebe while watching the Magic School Bus? Hell no. But is this what I have to do if I wanna solve this mystery? I guess so. But before doing that, I want to kind of know some background information about her. Now, Phoebe is kind of an interesting case, due to the fact that she claims to have been to a different school before going to a campus for murdering children, I guess. But what's so important about this is the fact that this proves the children had lives outside of what we're seeing in the show. But we run into a dead end whenever we realize that it's next to impossible to figure out what those lives were like, but can use some information from past episodes to have an idea of what they could have been. But something that doesn't work out here is that there's nothing about Phoebe's life that would make Ms. Frizzle want to murder her. But what about her parents? If you look at the official Magic School Bus wiki, then you can only really find Phoebe's dad, who goes under the name Mr. Therese in the show, but goes under the surname Mr. Cox in the books. Other than that, there's really not much information surrounding him, but there is one mention in the wiki, and it's a thing that's mentioned a sus amount of times while looking at information surrounding Phoebe. That's right, her old school. Her and her family are constantly talking about her old school, but we don't even know what her old school is called. It's just listed as Phoebe's old school. Literally, that it's called in the show. But why? Why is it called that? Well, no, it's definitely not because the creators were too lazy to give it a name, and just did that as a last-minute thing. No. This school is all about Phoebe, and it's just as sus as Walkerville Elementary. But clearly this really was Phoebe's old school, and then the Frizz made everything about it connected to her after wiping people's memory or something. So her clueless brain can understand that she liked this old school. And Mr. Seedplot. We notice that in the magic school bus rides again. There's a new student, but no Phoebe. Their excuse for this is that she enrolled back into her old school. And while that could be a pretty solid explanation, I think this means Ms. Frizzle murdered her. Except, she didn't do it herself. Going back to the memory wiping mind control theory, I think the Frizz could have manipulated Mr. Seedplot into luring her over with this opportunity, and you can only guess what happened to her after that. They then proceeded to replace her with this Jyoti chick so the children wouldn't be suspicious of her suddenly being gone. But hey, if there's a new student, doesn't that mean that they have an infinite supply of children that they keep replacing each time a new one is killed? If this is true, then there's almost no specific reason why Ms. Frizzle is trying to kill these children. And that's because they are not the only ones she wants to kill. So now I can finally rest peacefully knowing that I finally solved something that's been bugging me at night. But what about Arnold? So if you don't remember, I did a very quick segment at the end of my final thoughts video where I decided that Ms. Frizzle's just trying to target Arnold an odd amount for some reason. I also theorized that he could just be one of the masterminds behind the murder, but that theory went down the drain pretty quickly, and I really just wanna leave it there. But I feel like the Arnold part of the story is just such an important piece of the puzzle that we might be missing. He could be the key to figuring out this whole thing. But I've been sitting on it for the past year because I just don't know why the hell he seems to be so prominent throughout the show. There's nothing here that necessarily shows why she's doing it, but I think we can all agree that there's just something off about the connection between Arnold and Ms. Frizzle. If we want to put a solid polish on this mystery, we need to dig really far down to find the truth to this whole thing. And I don't feel like editing 15 more minutes of this video, and my computer storage is dying by the second. So I think I'll make a part 2 of this video dedicated to just figuring out all of this stuff. There's a lot to unpack here. So I think we'll need to have a whole separate thing to just work this out. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So yeah, I guess that's about it. And I'll probably see you in a part 2. It probably won't be my next video, but I'll try and have it done at some point. But anyway, bye.